That was the band called Old Tennis Shoes, and this is the stuff that they got their name from. Jack Daniel's Old Tennessee Whiskey. Cheap, old, and unreliable. And I have the living example of that here with me now. Kevin, lead guitar. Clayton, the other lead guitar. And Nick, the bass. How long have you guys been together as Old Tennis Shoes?
We've been together 7 years now. Me and Nick started 7 years ago. Clayton came in with us, what, 5 years ago. And Lewis, the drummer, who's going to arrive in a moment, hopefully, has about 3 weeks in. About 3 weeks.
You couldn't tell from watching him play that he'd only been with you for such a short period of time. It's quite amazing.
No, not at all. The video came out really well, really good. I must say, TVA did a really good job on it, and Lewis was spot on. It was great, you know. It was a good night. It was a good show, a good video. I was surprised it came out as well as it did. Yeah.
You're based here in Amsterdam. You've played here for quite some time. I mean, I've been seeing you here for a couple of years now. Why Amsterdam? Because you're all British. Why Amsterdam? Because you're all British.
Well, Amsterdam is a convenient place to be in if you want to work in Europe rather than England, because it's central to Germany, to Switzerland, France. It's easier for us to get across the borders and to go across the channel and mess about and do things like that. Apart from the fact, Amsterdam's a nice city to live in as well. It's just easier.
You do most of your own stuff. How does it come about? Do you write your own? Who does the writing? Who does the arranging? Do you throw it together? Does it happen? What? Do you have a routine?
Well, it's usually pretty magical. We just rehearse and it just comes out. And just everybody throws in their own ideas, their own feelings for songs. There's usually a theme from one of the guys in the band, and a lot of arguments, a lot of hassles, but eventually the finished sort of song comes out. It's basically everybody chips in and gives as much as they can to the end product.
A number of your records are favourites of your fans. In between numbers at your various gigs, people are always calling out for Swimming Pool or Strangers in the Night. You're very much blues rock oriented. Have you always been that way?
Yeah, I think we always have, you know, because I guess we're from, well, I am anyway, from a generation of like bluesy influence. The Beatles were blues influenced, Stones and so on. But then again, it's like you listen to a lot of modern things, and it's just a big blues influence of everything, really. It's just a conglomeration of everything you can get together and put out to make it as interesting, as variable as possible, you know, to as many people as possible. So there's always something that somebody comes to see, there's something they like, rather than a band that plays one style of music all night. And someone doesn't like that style of music, well, that's it. Different styles of music.
You keep the audience jumping in a way. Clayton, as a relative newcomer, generally speaking, to the band, how did you stumble across this lot? How did you get involved with them?
Well, I met the group in Preston. I just finished playing with a cabaret band, and I wasn't doing anything, so as to beat the unemployment problem, I joined Old Tennis Shoes. I was only going to join for 3 months originally, because they said they were going over to Europe for 3 months, and I've been here ever since.
Nick, you and Kevin as more or less founder members of the band, how did you get together in the first place?
Well, at one time I was a road manager, and it just happened that on one particular tour I met Kevin. I'd known him at school, actually, and so on the actual tour I'd been meeting him again. I mean, it was quite an old sort of relationship revived, so to speak. And after that tour finished, it was of Ireland, by the way, we just sort of came together and decided to form a band. And that was about 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Of that 7 or 8 years, how much of it has been spent in Amsterdam?
Too long, actually. 4 years altogether. Before that, we were working in England We were playing around the northwest of England. That's where Clayton comes from Preston. That's when we met Clayton. That's where we were all living at the time. And as I say, we did the northwest tours, the northwest circuit, all the pubs and the clubs, lad. Ran all hot pies and peas, that sort of trip. And we ended up over here. No, it's cocaine, booze and whiskey, you know. So.
Clayton, one thing I noticed when you two were playing, and I think it was quite obvious on the video tonight, you both share a lead and you both play as fast as each other. At the end of a session, you look as though you just stepped out of the shower with a fresh shirt. Kevin looks like he just stepped out of the shower and hasn't dried off. Well, what's the difference? How come?
Well, I'd just like to clarify that point. See, I play faster than this guy anyway. And the reason being that why I look so cool and fresh is because I'm just real cool. And these guys are really old farts, you know, so it's just how it is.
Yeah, well,
Kevin, can we have your comments on that, please?
well, I think it's because Clayton's so young, really, and he's yet to learn how to let himself go and things like that, you know. And basically, he's so fast that his hands cool him down and calm him down.
Actually, I'd have to disagree with that.
This is like a fan, really. That's all.
Actually, I'd have to disagree with that. Let's see, how can I put it another way? Well, I just don't drink as much as the rest of the group, you see, because, I mean, the more you put in, the more that comes out.
I see. So Kevin has more to sweat out. See, but be careful. I wouldn't like to see you electrocute yourselves on stage or short-circuiting the... Carrying on, you've done some demos, and you had a single out a while ago. Coming On Strong is one of the songs that you did tonight, and My Old Friend. Any future recording plans?
Yeah, we're trying to get it together to get some kind of recording thing, but the big problem is that we don't have a recording contract, and we're definitely very open to any suggestions or any offers from record companies that might just happen to have seen the video tonight. We might explain that we are a good band and we do give it everything we have when we play live. And we did some demo tapes last year in Studio 150, the place Spargo and Vitesse recorded. And the guy in there helped us a lot, but not a lot's come from that. But at the moment we're sort of working more as a live band, I think. But we do definitely have ideas and plans and really want to get together to make a record. Simple as that.
You do have a reasonable pedigree as a rock band, and you've played support for Dutch bands, Herman Brood, Kayak, New Adventures, Flavium, not to mention the English bands, Frankie Miller, Dr. Feelgood. How do you see the Dutch rock scene these days?
Well, I've always been really surprised at the Dutch rock scene. It's always been very versatile and very good. I mean, first time I saw Herman Brood playing, I thought they were from America. But when I found they were Dutch, I was really surprised. I think Herman Brood and his band were probably one of the best bands that came out of Holland. The Vitesse were a good band, and power play and what have you. Not to mention Jan Akkerman and people like that. I think the pedigree of the Dutch music scene probably influenced more of the world than people think. It's for such a small country. There's a lot of talent and a lot of good things going on in Holland. Of course, Beach Boys recorded in Holland as well. And the Police even recorded in Holland. Studios in Hilversum and whatever. They're really good. Some of the top stuff in Holland, definitely.
You now have a more or less steady gig at a place called the Last Waterhole, which is up near the Varmestrat Cop Shop, for those of you who are interested in coming along. And your immediate plans are to be playing there every Monday and Thursday in August, and a lot of other evenings as well when you just happen to show up. Do you have any tour plans for the summer, the next few months?
Well, there was a bit of talk of us going to Egypt, yeah. And also we have a lot of work coming up in Germany, and but our management isn't too brilliant, and we tend to sort of keep playing anywhere as much as we can, yeah. And, well, we just keep playing as much as we can and where we can. But we are playing the last Waterhole. We do play there a lot. That's like our base sort of stomping ground where people can come and see us without having to pay any entrance fee. And it's a pretty relaxed sort of place. And the bar staff are really nice people and things like that. You know, it's just a kind of place where people can come see old tennis shoes. As simple as that. But as far as anything else goes, we play in Germany a lot. Obviously, people in Amsterdam can't travel to Germany to see us play. The tour plans is we just play everywhere we possibly can. We're a hard-working band. We just play everywhere we possibly can. You know?
We just want to play, like Kevin was saying, as often as we can, because we are really a live band. It never seems to come off in the studio at the moment when we've been doing it. And I shouldn't have said that, but...
So we can look forward to seeing you at the last Waterhole for the foreseeable future anyway. You're available for bookings. Do you limit yourselves to rock clubs, or will you do bar mitzvahs, weddings, riverboat trips, that sort of thing?
Well, we used to do all sorts. We've actually played on riverboats. I mean, we played prisons, we backed halls, we did the top 10 club in Hamburg. I mean, we played just about every possible situation a group could possibly play in, which stands us in good stead, because when we end up playing some of the crazy places like Waterhole, for instance, that's why we can manage to play so many different places, because we have such a different style of music in our music. And I think that's why it's evolved. We play country music, we play rock, we play blues, and we play our own stuff. But our own stuff also encompasses all that, all the influences. So we can really play anywhere, sure, no problem at all. Bookings, just ring the number, and we're there.
That's bookings for Old Tennis Shoes. Anyone with a bar out there needs a good rock and roll band to liven things up a bit. The number behind me, 240023.